Good morning. Today is for our 5-minute devotion. I wanted to talk about another one of my favorite Psalms is Psalm 10. Sometimes favorite Psalms are Psalms because they give you comfort and great encouragement. And other times they're your favorite Psalms because they really put you in your place and they remind you of what you need to be thinking and what you need to be doing. This is Psalm 10 for me. How many of you have ever been given advice from somebody like this? Well, I wouldn't take that off them. I wouldn't put up with that. I wouldn't let them talk to me that way. Well, I tell you what, if it was me, this is what I'd say. Well, I'll tell you right now, I'll tell you how I've handled that in the past. It's always somebody being very confrontational and really cleaning somebody's plow and letting them know exactly what they think. Well, David was a man of like passions. And in Psalm 10, we read some interesting things. He's asking a question. He says, "Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thou thyself in times of troubles?" That's my cry many times. I'm like, Lord, where are you? Where are you when I need you? Lord, where are you when things are going really rough? I'm needing your comfort right now. How many of us have been in situations like that? Maybe it's a heartbreak. Maybe we're just being plain old mistreated by somebody. And we just don't understand what God is doing. Why standest thou afar off, O Lord? Why hidest thyself in times of trouble? And then we start enumerating what we mean by that. Because look at the stuff that's happening to me that's making me unhappy. That's how we always tend to quantify how God's not doing his part. Things aren't going my way. And he does that. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. I mean, look at the poor people out there, how they're being treated. And the unconverted love to do that. If there's a God of love, why is he letting hurricanes happen? Why is he letting babies get cancer? And he goes on, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, they will not seek after God. God is not in all his thoughts. Preachers feel this way a lot of times. What's wrong with these people? They call themselves Christians. They won't even show up for church. We have church 3 times a week. If you can get them there for one service, you're doing good. And then to expect them to tithe, Lord, to give 10% of their income? Are you kidding? Oh, the preacher, feels this way. Why are you standing so far off, Lord? Where are your people? And then it goes on talking about these wicked people. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Mischief is under his tongue. He's full of vanity. Verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. I mean, he just wants to hurt people. That's all he's interested in. It's just so obvious what he wants to do. And then his cry is this in verse 12. He said, "Arise, O Lord. O God, lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble." Yeah, that's what I'm not. I am the one who say, I wouldn't let anybody talk to me that way. I'm not being humble. Nobody's going to push me around. Nobody's going to use me like a mat. Arise, O Lord. O God, lift up thine hand. Forget not the humble. Forget not the humble. The Lord, he said, is king forever and ever in verse 16. The heathen are perished out of his land. There's going to come a day that he is going to separate the goats from the sheep, and then there will be an eternity of peace with God. And you know what? We're fretting over this tiny little blip in God's timeline. And we think that it's the worst thing that could ever happen. He says, Lord, thou hast heard the desire of the humble. Thou wilt prepare their heart. Thou wilt cause thine ear to hear. It comes back to that, doesn't it? Humility, the humble. Are we really humble, or are we just wanting our way? The humble doesn't want their way. The humble wants the Lord's way. That is to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. That's what we're after, is that the day comes that God in his perfect judgment brings his children home and judges the ungodly. We need to humble ourselves and be gracious toward our neighbor. Psalm 10 is such a help for me to remember that aspect.